Hi, I'm Logan. So, today I'm gonna be telling some stories about just weird customers while I worked at this burger place that I've recently stopped working there. I don't know if I can say the name of it. I don't know if that'll get me in trouble, but it can probably be pretty figured out from the stories here. But yeah, I worked at a burger place. And oh boy, I never got any like full blown like you'll see the videos of like people just absolutely losing it at the minimum wage McDonald's employee. But no, we didn't have anything like that at this place that I worked. But we did get like some customers who were just a bit odd or just kind of rude. But you know, never anything like full blown crazy. But there was this one guy who was kind of weird. He came in. It was pretty late. It was like 9 o'clock, which is like an hour before we closed. And he comes in. He asks for like two burgers. He specifically is like, "Yeah, I'm getting a burger for this other guy." This other guy at this gas station that I just met, and I'm like, okay, that's cool of you, I guess. Very cool. And he's like, he has like these super specific instructions for like how we bag them, and it felt like it was being given a test of some kind. It's like, yeah, just put the fries in this bag, put the burgers, put one of them cut in half, and then perform this ancient ritual, and then do an SAT. It was some wild, like very specific instructions. But anyways, I think I like go to like ask him something about his order, like specify something and get an answer, and then I'm like my part of it is done. I'm waiting for them to bag it up, and he walks over to me and he's like, you know, they're hiring at the tax office right now, and I'm like, Okay," and he's like, yeah, you know, at the tax office, uh, you get some crazy benefits. You get crazy retirement if you just like work for the government for a bit, and then yeah, you'll get like crazy benefits, and the pay is pretty good, and it's not a hard work. But yeah, you should go apply to the tax office. I'm just like, what are you, what? Sir? This is a Wendy's. That's also not the place. But I'm just like, what? Huh? But yeah, he like goes on just like explain all of the good things about working for the government, and I'm like, huh? No, no, I feel even more like I'm being tested by someone. What? But yeah, then he left, and that was the end of that. But yeah, another like a really common thing, and I found this anywhere I've worked, because I also used to work at like a game store. People love to compare the things that your store does to other stores, and people also love to think that you, the employee, like have any control over what the company does. So at this place, our menu is like completely separate. There aren't any combos, and that can be pretty annoying because people are like, "Oh, I want my like saved money," but realistically, if we had combos, like I'm sure, like knowing the place, they would make those combos insanely overpriced. Like it would scare me to look at that menu and see, here's a burger combo, $30, because that's like how much it costs. It's a nightmare. I understand why people got frustrated with the prices there. It's a lot. But, yeah, we would get people just kind of, like, feeling like we had control over this. I had one person come in, and he was like, oh, you guys don't have combos? And I want to mention, this guy was wearing an In-N-Out shirt. I don't know if it was like I work at In-N-Out or if he just like was repping the merch or something, because I don't think we have an In-N-Out here. I've never seen one here. But he's like, In-N-Out has combos, and their combos work like this. And then he starts explaining to me what a combo is. And I'm just sitting here like, what am I supposed to do with this information? You know what? I'm gonna go directly after my shift. I'm gonna go to the Applebee's headquarters, and I'm gonna say to the CEO, hey, you know what? We need combos. And then the manager, the CEO, is gonna be like, brilliant. Brilliant. You are now the CEO of my company. Thank you for giving me this information. I'd never thought of that. It's just I don't know what outcome people expect from this. It's always like the strangest thing. But usually I just kind of like nod and agree with them. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind. It sure will. But yeah. But yeah, our menu there is weird. There isn't like that much on the menu, but everything's separate. There aren't any combos or anything. But also the way they label the burgers and stuff, they're not like, oh, we have you know, hamburgers and then like double burgers. No, the hamburger is a double burger, but a small burger is just a regular burger. And it's always like really confusing, and we have to explain to every single customer that, hey, the regular burger has 2 patties. We have to explain like, hey, how many patties do you want? Because the menu is misleading. And I've had many times where like if I don't ask the customer, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, I want 2 regular burgers, and then I'm like, okay, that's 2 patties, and they're like, no, that's not what I asked for. But you know, usually like it's easy, just be like, yeah, do you want 1 or 2 patties? It's that simple. But for this one guy, it was not that simple. So this guy comes in, and this guy is like already giving the most like, this is the worst person ever kind of vibe. He walks in and he has this hat on that says no V card, then no ring. And I'm like, oh no, this guy sucks. Also my manager like really thought that was a funny hat. He was like, oh, this guy, he's always coming in here with the different hats. He has a different hat every, it's what a silly guy. What a silly little dude. But you know, he comes up and I'm like, okay, I want to not talk to this man, but I have to because it's my job. So I'm like, okay. He asks for a burger. Something like a burger. And I'm like, all right, would you like 1 or 2 patties? And he looks at me with the most offended look I've ever seen on a man's face. He looks at me as if I just called him the devil. And he's like, the regular burger has 2 patties, correct? And I'm like, yes, sir, that is correct. You've understood the menu properly. Congratulations, you have reading comprehension abilities of that of a first grader. And he's like, and the little burger, it has 1 patty, right? And I'm like, yeah, I mean, you know, Are we really talking about the little burger right now? Like, maybe you forgot, because it isn't actually listed on the menu, which makes me hate the way our menu's formatted even more. But yeah. The little burger, it has one patty. And then he's like, well then, I asked for a regular burger, didn't I? And I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess you want 2 patties. And then he's like, I guess this conversation was pretty redundant, wasn't it? And I'm like, it sure was. You know, you could have just, we could have avoided like 30, like 5 sentences there. You just answered the question. But no, there had to be a point made. Oh, my style is horrible. I am not getting P rank on this one. Oh my god. But yeah, customers are wild. Even weirder. This story is, like, even crazier. So this is a completely different time. This is when I worked at this used game store. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I have not been, like... Oh, that was a bad run. That was just an awful run. Okay, hold on. Okay. Where was I? So yeah, I used to work at a game store. Sell used games. And one of the perks of working in this small little game store is that you can just, like, play video game music. And it's fun. It's funny. It can be funny sometimes, because one day I'm sitting here with one of my co-workers slash manager slash I think she was the manager at the time. I don't really remember. It doesn't really matter. I don't know why I specified that. But yeah, we're sitting here. We're sitting there with a customer, actually, who's a regular, who's not really there to shop, I don't think. He's kind of just there to, like, hang out, which is a common occurrence. But yeah, we're sitting there. And this guy walks in, and he goes directly to, like, the Blu-ray DVDs, because we had those. And Megalovania starts playing. So, naturally, we all lose our mind at that. And my coworker, she starts to, like, hum along with it. Like, we're all just joking around, having a good time. And then this guy, like, shouts from the Blu-ray section, "Somebody got something in their mouth!" And I'm like, huh. And we all just kind of stop and stay silent for a minute. He's like, why'd everyone get so quiet, huh? And he's like, he's putting on this, like, very, like, tough guy voice. I don't really know how to replicate it, but, like, I definitely felt like he was putting on a voice. I don't believe that this human being actually spoke this way. But then he just starts repeating himself. He's like, "Someone got something in their mouth? You think you're funny?" And we're just like, huh? So we just, like, stay dead quiet, and they're like, you got quiet. You're talking about me, aren't you? And it's like, no, we're just like singing the song. And, like, I can see that my coworker's kind of scared, because, like, this guy is kind of scary. But, you know, he walks up to the register holding, like, one Blu-ray DVD. It's like a $5 DVD, and he's like, "I don't have time for people who think they're funny. I have a lot of money." And we're like, wow, sick rhyme. What? And he just keeps repeating that. He's like, "I have a lot of money. I don't have time for people like you." And then he pulls out, for this, like, $5 Blu-ray, he pulls out this, like, $100 bill. And he just continues to be like, "I don't have time for funny people." And And I think like at this point we're trying not to laugh. We're like we're in a state of being like kind of frightened, but also just like, is this guy messing with us? But he, he pays finally, and he leaves. And the moment he leaves, we're all just we just break into laughter because it's like, this is comical. This is so comical. What? How are these people real? But yeah, that was kind of average game store employee moment, employee customer moment. Dang it! Ah! I hear all the explosions. But yeah, that store also had the problem of like people just like comparing us to other stores. Like, this is like not entirely a local store. It's like sort of a franchise, but it's definitely a more local kind of thing. And like I remember one guy comes in and he tries to like trade in something, and we're like, okay, here's how much we can offer you, and then he looks at us and he's like, well, but GameStop said they would offer me this much. And it's just like, okay. That was another thing. People try to barter so much at like a game store like that. They're like, you're gonna pay me $38 for all these games? What? I don't know if I can do that. What if we just like, pushed it up to 40? I know you really want this copy of Madden. This like 30 copies of Madden. Come on, it's just $2. And we're like, the corporation we work for is we are part of a franchise. We cannot. This is not the kind of place you barter. Go to a flea market. Yeah. Bartering, completely different tangent here. I cannot like grasp bartering. I hate when I'm like at a garage sale or something and I'm like, how much does this cost? And I'm like, well, how much do you want to pay for it? And I'm like, how am I supposed to answer that? I don't know what value you attribute to this item, and if I say too low, it's like I'm mocking you. And if I say too high, then I'm putting myself into a hole here. Bartering is not a skill that I have. I remember, like, one time, actually, this is supposed to be work stories. I'm going on a completely different thing here. When I was like 12 years old, I remember me and a few friends, we wanted to get, this was when Pepsi Fire was a thing. And one of my friends was like, guys, you have to try this Pepsi Fire. It is exquisite. It is the greatest flavor you will ever have flavored in your life. It's like Pepsi, but with better. And we're like, okay, I guess we'll try it. So we go to this grocery store. It's like this really small local place. Like this was when I lived in this like small town in the middle of nowhere. It wasn't that in the middle of nowhere, but it was like a town no one's heard of, with a population of like 7. But we go to this grocery store, which is part of a chain as well. And my friend who wants to get this Pepsi, he's like, all right, listen, here's the deal. I just got back from this super special summer camp. They taught me how to barter there. So today I'm gonna get us this Pepsi for cheaper than it actually is. And at the time we're just like, whoa, what a skill. So then we like get to the register and we have the Pepsi, and he's like, oh, sorry, I only have this much money. It's like $5 or something, and he's like, sorry, I only have $4 for this case of Pepsi. And like, it's very obviously, he like very obviously has his money out, and you can very obviously see that he has enough money. And the cashier kind of looks and just laughs. But I guess just the privilege of being like a cute, silly little child somehow worked, because I think that he actually got it for like $1 cheaper. And I'm just like, man, what a time that was, when we really thought that we could just barter with this random grocery store employee, and we could somehow. Maybe that's a small town thing. Like, maybe that's more common of a thing. Because, like, sure, if it's like a completely local place, maybe you can like get a little bit of bartering done. Though I feel like most of the time you try to barter with someone, they're just gonna get annoyed. They're gonna be like, no, we have the price set for a reason. That was a really, really random tangent. How did we get here? Oh yeah, work. But yeah, I've worked a lot of weird places, and all of them have had weird weird customers. I don't remember a whole lot about like all of them, but most places I've worked, customer service, so I get to deal with people being a bit silly. Now I'm going into like delivery, so that's gonna be, I'm sure there's gonna be even more wild encounters from that. Like, you look on the like the DoorDash subreddit, and you'll see people who are like, ah, yes, I delivered some food, and then uh the customer performed some ancient ritual on me, and now I have superpowers. All right. I'm not beating this level today, am I? All right. I think now that we've gotten completely off topic, that's a good time to end things. Um, but yeah. Thanks for watching and listening to my complete rambling, the rambles of a madman. And see you next time.